Just hit number 1.
Okay.
Yep, and then. Okay.
7.
Yep. So I'd go live now if you're ready.
You're in my camera.
Yep.
Actually,
Already got a comment.
I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Just so I don't have to go in there. Grab my water, too.
And then did you bring one? You're unmuted. And then hit number 1.
Hey everybody, Ira Miller, the community expert in the Villages, Florida, going live tonight, 5 o'clock. We have a new time when this is not going to be our usual time. Well, it may be our usual time, depending on what y'all think. 5, 6, I don't know, maybe you might want to go ahead and let me know what you think about this new 5 o'clock time. I know technically most people are should be retired, or when I'm working within this 55 plus community realm. That anyways, we're gonna try it out. I've got another commitment at 7:30, so we're probably gonna go along till around 6:30. How many people we got? 12 people. We're probably going to go to around, I don't know, 6 or 6:30. I'm going to let y'all decide, what we're going to do and go from there. Anyways, I have my real estate, can you see that, consulting shirt on. Didn't feel like changing, actually. I had a walkthrough today, and somebody was getting ready to close on their home in Stone Creek. So I always like to be at the walkthroughs, whether it's in the Villages, on top of the world, wherever. I'm always at the walkthroughs. This was actually a brand new home that somebody built, so long time coming. I think, he actually ordered his home probably about 8 months ago. So that's a long time to wait for a closing, actually. So let's see here. So hey guys, I'm just looking at the text messages. So Kevin, how's it going? I actually did a video that you're going to see me wearing the same shirt with using you, Kevin, and Karen as an example, talking about the market today, for sale by owners and all that stuff. That video is probably going to be out, I don't know, Christian will work on it tomorrow. It might be out tomorrow, it might be out early Wednesday, but thank you for that opportunity, Kevin, to go ahead and use that as an example. And can you all see me, by the way? We've got audio, nothing visual yet. So can you all see me? If you can let me know, that would be cool. So Pam's telling me 9 months for a new build in Texas. So hey, I don't feel so bad, right? But we know, Pam, everybody's moving to either Florida or Texas these days. Especially, I think half of California is probably moving into Texas. All right, so I guess Christian answered. So hey, Laura, thank you for joining us this evening. What does everybody think? We've got 21 people viewing right now. So I'm going to be asking periodically throughout the evening what people think about this 5 o'clock time slot, and seeing if 5 o'clock works better for you. Does 6 o'clock? I know it's kind of like the dinner hour, so maybe 6 to 7 when we're doing our live is maybe closer to dinner. 5 o'clock, maybe some people are working, some people might not be able to come on at 5. That's kind of what I'm kind of struggling with. But anyways, so if you can just give me your opinions, that would be cool. So Paul, how's it going? Good to see you, Paul. Paul is over, well, he must be home now. Paul doesn't live too far from here. Del Webb, Spruce Creek, Golf and Country Club. Oh, that's right, Laura. You are in Chicago. You're an hour behind us. So you're actually 4 o'clock your time. So Kevin's got to cook dinner in between. So maybe 6 o'clock. I don't know. Still kind of struggling with that. So we have a new name. Like I told everybody, I guess we were here 2 weeks ago, right? I think we have an identity crisis going on. 55 plus community expert, active adult community expert we talked about last time. I've kind of settled pretty much on community expert in the villages. I guess I should say in and around the villages, Florida. But that just seems to be mostly where people are searching or are originally searching for, and then we kind of go from there. All right. So Sassy Sarsaparilla, I'm flexible, but 6 p.m. seems like a good window. Some folks getting home from work. See, that's what I was thinking. I know for me, oh man, I mean, I probably don't eat till 8 o'clock most nights anyways. And I live a half hour from here. I'm here in my office. And so last time we went from 6 o'clock to like 8 o'clock. And we had a good we had a really good thing going on. I think we were kind of matchmaking last time when we were all together. But all right, so, so listen. Tom and Margaret. So they are ones, Tom and Margaret, I was telling Kevin and Karen who are on here as well. I made a brand new video that's probably going to be out tomorrow or the next day about the market and what we should kind of glean out of today's market. It's absolutely crazy. So you guys can attest to that. We put in some offers, and so we put an offer in for Tom and Margaret over asking price, right? We talked about cash, finance, which is the best way to go. Tom and Marge, we kind of figured out, let's go ahead and check the cash box, even though they were getting financing. They're just getting financing because that makes good financial sense for them. But even though they could have paid cash if they wanted to. But in this market, we have to get you as much of an advantage as possible. And even with that, we didn't prevail. I mean, there were 7 offers on this one home. And it was just crazy. And for us to go $15,000 over asking price and checking off the cash box and no other contingencies other than a home inspection and not prevailing, it's just kind of crazy. So, I've just kind of come to the conclusion that it's just going to depend. You're going to have to make an offer at your absolute highest and best. As much as I try to give you the comparables and tell you what a home is worth today, everybody's bidding over market value for property. So we're just going to have to go until it hurts in today's market, unfortunately. All right, so let's see. Let me think. Let me see. So James Reeves is in North Carolina, and Laura's in Chicago. Told you Paul's over in Summerfield, Florida, and Del Webb not too far from here. So let's see. Greetings from Long Island. So Tom and Margaret are in the Long Island area. Anyways, we are talking about several different things. Number one, my name, community expert. I think in and around the villages, Christian is probably probably the best for just right now. It's community expert in the villages, Florida. Maybe community expert in and around the villages, Florida should be the thing. Okay. Anyways, that message was for Christian. By the way, got my phone here. If anybody cared to be on the telephone, you could always call me. I can put it on speaker. So you can call me Christian. You want to put my phone number up there, 352-454-956. I'll tell you what, you could always call. The best number, really, if you want to talk to me or get immediate results or answers, is to call the office phone. That's 352-204-9026. I used to give my phone number out, and I don't mind giving my phone number out. It's 352-454-9561. That's my cell phone. That's my direct line. But that's why I have an assistant, because when I'm out there working with people, doing walkthroughs like I did today, this is kind of one of my walkthrough construction shirts I like to wear. I'm in jeans. And I know y'all like to see me all kind of different which ways, so I didn't mind just coming to you today with my walkthrough shirt on and my jeans, which is what I do whenever I'm doing a home inspection or a walkthrough. I just dress down for that because you never know where we got to walk through. Today was wet grass. It was kind of drizzling. It's been raining almost every single day here. But if you want to call the office phone, you can talk to me directly. I'll put you right here live through. I don't know if you can see my little, there it is, my little microphone here. Christian likes to kind of put it out of the way. I know y'all like to have it right here where you can hear me a little bit better. So anyways, New Jersey in the house. Yes, how you doing, Jacqueline? Kevin's in Rhode Island making dinner for everybody. I guess you're going to send it on out overnight mail, right, Kevin? McKinney, Texas. You know, funny, Pam. We visited the villages last November and had thought about moving there until I contracted COVID and everything came to a halt. Oh my gosh. McKinney, Texas. So McKinney is actually my dad's last name. It's such a long story. I'm not even going to go into that. So, but McKinney, that has a little bit of a sentimental value there for me. Okay, bids over asking. Are appraisers keeping up with higher values for mortgages? That's a great question because, man, I'll tell you, I think appraisers can make an argument. So there's different ways to do appraisals. You can do comparative on what is sold. You can do replacement value. And so with all of the shortages that are going on today, I think the last shortage I heard was paint shortages. So first it was drywall, then it was lumber for your wood studs and your trusses and stuff like that. Then it was glass for windows and shower partitions. Now the latest thing I've heard is paint. They're having shortages of paint. So it's just a crazy market. I mean, I haven't, even back in 2005 when that market hit, it just doesn't seem like it was like it is today. Okay, so let's see what else. So Pam, I guess Laura was under the weather a little bit. Pam had Pam is one that had COVID. So yeah, it seems like everybody's kind of working through that COVID thing because I had it in February. My daughter caught it in March. My son just caught it in August. I think either tomorrow, I think will be 1 month since he had it. So, knock on wood, my wife, I don't know, I think she's immune. She probably would go crazy if I said that because she's kind of superstitious. But she hasn't caught it. And so God bless her. I mean, she's all about the vitamins and everything else. So I don't know, whatever she's doing, she's doing it right. So let's see. What do we want to talk about today? Anybody have any topics, any questions? Like I said, you can always call me if you want to talk to me in person. We'll put you over the speaker here, and everybody can kind of hear us. And also, we have 29 people. Now, usually, we have, I don't know, about 60 people, I guess, Christian, on here. So this amount of people who are viewing our live tonight, we're kind of determining how many people we're going to get. We're up to 29 now, and that's 20 minutes after 5. Also, another thing is we're trying to decide whether we should do this. We want to do it more than once a month. I really feel like this needs to be a venue where y'all can come, ask me any questions, about the real estate market. But right now, I guess we're doing it every other week. Do y'all think that we should do it every week? Go back to once a month? What do you think? I don't know. So that might be something that you might want to kind of give me some input about from your perspective, okay? All right. So yes, Pam, wood prices have stabilized, and so Kevin wanted to make an offer on a home over the weekend, and I gave him. I pulled up the comparable homes, and I emailed those comparable properties to him to show him where previous homes have sold. So I sent him some sold homes. I sent him some pending homes of similar year that it was built and square footage. And so we kind of determined that this home, well, Kevin, we checked on that home yesterday after you and I decided that this was probably not the time to be getting into a bidding war and paying more for a home than really what you should, because in six to 12 months from now, the market's going to subside and get back to more of a normal market. And with that, prices will come down. So Kevin decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hold off right now and just see what happens in the market. So I think that was probably a wise thing to do, Kevin. So only the people who have sold a home, which Kevin and Karen just did, but still, if you sold that home, hold on to that money because you sold it in the peak time. And if you just be patient and hold off, you'll be able to get a lot more home for your money, or same home for less money. I see a house for sale by owner. What are the most important things I should know to protect myself? So I think number one, that's from Kathy Richards. Kathy, a lot of for sale by owners, yes, they're saving the commission by not putting it with a realtor, but you have to be concerned about, okay, so who's doing the contract? All right, how much do they know about contracts? Who's going to, take it to closing? Who's going to be on your side when you buy this home? What do you need to do? You need to get all this information. Me, when I work with a buyer, I say, look, okay, so let's figure out a price, just like with Kevin and Karen and Tom and Marge. All right, let's figure out a price, and then pay as much as you absolutely feel comfortable with. And if we don't get it, then you know what? You're not going to be sad because you've paid as much as you're going to pay for a home in this market. And it is what it is. And so if you get outbid, you get outbid, but you weren't going to go any higher anyway, so it is what it is, and you're comfortable with that. So there's so many factors, Kathy, about, is that seller asking too much for the home, right? So you want to get comparable properties to see, is this home well priced? I can tell you most for sale by owners are way overpriced, but it just doesn't seem to care in this crazy market. It just doesn't. So just like this last home that we were looking at for Kevin and Karen, this guy paid almost $100,000 less for the same home, for that home 2 years ago. He bought it in 2019. Only thing he did was furnish it, and he's getting probably over $100,000 profit from that home. It's just insane in this market. But it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to gauge where a home is going to sell. So the best information I can give you is just go up as high as you can possibly stand to go, because that's the only thing that's going to give you a chance at buying a home in today's market. Let's see. So Kevin's saying, I told my wife to slow down. We still have 3 years left. Yes, Kevin has 3 more years until he's going to retire and move here to the Villages. So yeah, I made that suggestion. Slow down, take it easy. Let's wait. Let's wait for the market to go down. You have plenty of time to wait out this market. You don't have to buy anything right now, unless you want to be here for next winter. But he's telling me he's still working, so that's not going to be the case. So it was my recommendation that we wait. Let's wait until the market goes down and we can get a better price on a home for you. But some more things about for sale by owners. So like I said, more times than not, a for sale by owner is going to ask way too much money for what the house is really worth. Like I said, even though this one example, the guy got multiple offers on this home, and you have to be concerned about who's doing the contract, who's going to be looking out for your best interest, as a buyer. And the seller's not going to be looking out for your best interest. They're going to be looking out for their best interest. And that holds true, by the way, with the Villages, because all those Villages sales agents, they all work for the seller. If you ask them, if you're working with them, if you just look over and say, hey, do you work for the seller or do you work for the buyer? Technically, they have to say they work for the seller. They work for the developer. The developer is the seller. The developer is the one that's listing these homes. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but anytime you list a home, when you have a real estate agent, a realtor, or a real estate agent come in and talk to you about listing your home, and you're signing an offer here in Florida, or you're signing a listing agreement here in Florida, you're actually listing with that agent's broker. So I work for ERA, Grizzard Real Estate. If I list a home, it's listed with ERA, Grizzard Real Estate, not technically me as the agent. Yes, I am the one who is working to get the home sold, but it's always the broker who you list with. But anyways, when you're working with a for sale by owner, you're actually dealing with that seller one-on-one. Is he going to be looking out in your best interest? Probably not. Probably not going to tell you everything that you should know about the home. But you should always do a home inspection, regardless if you work with a buyer's agent like me, or if you're working and you're buying a home through a for sale by owner. Always get that home inspection. All right. So, anyways, so let's see. Hopefully, Kathy, that answered most of your question here. Let me kind of look down a little bit real quick. Let's see. Let me go over here. So, Kathy, I see a house I like for sale by owner. What are the most important things I should know to protect myself? And the last thing I can tell you, too, is you could always talk to me, or talk if it's a home out of the area, you can talk to a buyer's agent, say, hey, would you represent me? I feel like I need representation to protect myself. See if you can work something out with me or a buyer's agent when dealing with a home for sale by owner. But the best thing would be if you got with me or a buyer's agent first, before you contact that for sale by owner seller, and then let me negotiate a some kind of payment for services for myself before you go out there and possibly want to contract with me to represent you as a buyer. So that's the best way to do it. Get a hold of me first. Let me go talk to him, and then I'll do a video or whatever, put it out there, tell him I have a buyer. Will you go ahead and pay my commission as a buyer's as an agent who will write the contract and facilitate the whole thing right through closing. So that's kind of what we do. Let's see. All right, so I did ask the question about how many times should I do this Monday Night Live. Sassy says once a week with the way the market is right now would be great. And that's kind of why I was thinking, it might be good if I do this once a week. Let's see. Make sure there are upgrades. Wow, $100,000. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that, Kevin, but we did look it up to see how much he paid for that house, and it was about $100,000 less. And there was something. Let's see. How much money? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Patty. Hi, Ira. I didn't get a gate fob when I bought my pre-owned. How do I go about getting one? And Patty, what community is that in? And then Mike's saying, all right, Mike. So it says current president is driving buyers to Florida. Why do you think the Great Migration will slow down? Oh, well, because I think that the economy is going to bust. So if interest rates start going up, if he starts messing with the interest rates, if the economy starts going bust, which it's headed in that direction, that's probably what's going to cause the real estate market to just shut down, because everybody's going to kind of want to stop and take a pause and see what's going on. So, so Tom and Margaret are saying you're confusing us with another couple. We were the Tom and Margaret at Margaritaville. Oh, okay. That's okay. Very good. So sorry about how many Tom and Margarets can there possibly be, right? So very good. I'm with you now, Tom. Thanks for clearing that up. So it is Tom and Margaret, not Tom and Marge, who I made the offer, who I made the offer for. Jacqueline says, I agree, once a week. Patty says the Villages. Okay, so Patty. So you have to take your closing packet. Well, Patty, you must have gotten your IDs, right? Your villagers' IDs. And because in order to go to the recreation centers here in the Villages, you'd have to have your IDs, and that's the same place you get your gate card. So it's not necessarily really a fob, but it's a card, a little white card like this, like that. All right, so, but in case you didn't, so you're saying Point Siena, the St. Charles area. I believe now everything is being done out of the Brownwood sales office. That's my understanding. It used to be if you bought a home north of 466, which runs right outside the front of my office here, that anything purchased north of 466, you would go to Spanish Springs sales office to get your gate cards, to get your IDs. And then they changed it, and everything was like at Lake Sumter Landing, because it used to be split up south of 466 all the way to 466A. You would get your gate cards and IDs at Lake Sumter Landing, and then anything south of 466A, you would go to Brownwood. But I think it's pretty much my understanding now that everything now you go to the Brownwood sales office, no matter where you purchased a home, and get your gate passes and your IDs. All right, so there you go. I don't think, do we have anything else? Okay. All right, so like I said, I'm kind of watching how many people are on today since we started an hour earlier. I can go to for about another hour to about 6:30, and I got to book it out of here because I have another commitment at 7:30 in Ocala, and this is over close to on top of the world in Del Webb Stone Creek, so that takes about 45 minutes from here. Anyways, so if it's anything like last time I saw y'all, I wonder where those people are. We had a real dating game going on here. It seemed like the last time we were on live, but we have 41 people that are watching, so that's pretty close to what our normal is. Christian, you remember what we had last time? I know a lot of people kind of rewatched because we put this on our YouTube channel. Once it's over, we'll just go ahead and post the whole thing so everybody can revisit if they want to. But there's 40. Well, we have 43 people. It looks like. I don't know. My little thingy here is kind of crazy. Actually, if you want to see, well, I can't. I'm just hooked up all over the place. I was going to turn it around and show you, but I can't do that. Anyways, let's go down and. So Elaine says once a week would be nice, but it would be hard. But it would be hard on you. How about 2 weeks you do it, and 2 weeks someone else in your office? Ooh, hey. Well, I threatened to have Danielle do it, and she goes, no way. I'm not getting on camera. So not everybody wants to get on camera and put themselves out there like I do. Okay, so... All right, so I have Kit and Brennan tapping in with us. Awesome. But it's really looking like a consensus is, well, here's Rock. Hey, Rock, how's it going? Let's see, hi, Ira, I think once every 2 weeks would be good. Your number of viewers is down because you are 1 hour earlier. Well, thank you for that. And so that is what we're testing today. We're testing every 2 weeks because it was 2 weeks since I was on, I believe, last time, and 1 hour earlier. So, Rock, what is your consensus about, well, everybody, I'm going to ask Kit and Brennan and everybody else who I haven't asked, what are your thoughts about this time slot, being on at 5 instead of 6? I can tell you that a lot of times I'll be out with people and we're out past 6 o'clock. I'm sorry, past 5 o'clock. But we're also getting ready to slide back, move forward an hour, right? Fall back, spring forward and fall back. So we're going back an hour. We're getting ready to go back an hour pretty soon. And when we do that, 6 o'clock, it'll be dark. So anyways, all right, so Christian said last time was 61 people was the peak. And we're at 41. So there we go. So I think Rock has a very good point that I'm an hour earlier. And I didn't even think about this. But Laura is in Chicago. She's even more of an hour earlier in Chicago. So it was 4 o'clock her time when we came on, which was 5 o'clock our time. So I'm thinking probably the 6 o'clock hour is going to be better. Although I have to say that oh hey, Sylvan's on there. I have to say that we're probably going to have to go at 5 o'clock. Well, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to miss next week. We won't be on next week. We will be on in 2 weeks at the 6 o'clock hour. Okay, how does that sound? Everybody, I think there's kind of a mix between every week and every other week, but I happen to have a commitment next week, so I would have to come on at 5 o'clock again like I did tonight if I was going to have it next week. So probably the best thing to do, I think, would be to go ahead and skip next week, and then in 2 weeks we'll be back at the 6 o'clock hour. And then let's see, Laura says, yeah, so Laura's saying every other week at 6 p.m. Eastern time would be good for her since she's on at Central time. So Rock, you said if you could post your time on the air one day earlier, you should get more viewers because they know what time you're on. I thought that Christian had let everybody know last week, and I'm not sure if he posted anything today, but also one day earlier would be Sunday, and I pretty much don't do anything without Christian's help, I can tell you. If you could see this studio here, with all the wires, with all the monitors and cameras, and next week, I'm sorry, in 2 weeks, we're actually going to have 2 cameras in here. I've got a whole little, let me see if I can pick this up. Got a whole board here that we're using. We're getting pretty technical here. So I'm thinking we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll have Christian, which he's on the other end. Christian's going to be leaving in here in about 20 minutes anyways. All right, so I'm looking at Christian. He said, I made a post last Wednesday and Friday, and 30 minutes before we started. So we try to bring it to you. We try to keep you up to date with what we're doing and posting as best we can to try to keep everybody in touch with what we're doing. But anyways, I think it was a good experiment anyways to try an hour earlier. We've never done it. It's always been 6 o'clock. And so I think, yeah. All right, let me go to the some of the text messages over here. All right, so Pamela Rice, is the community diverse? First of all, which community are you talking about, and what does diverse mean? I mean, so let me just explain one thing about a real estate or a realtor. Realtors cannot talk about diversity of communities as far as race goes, if that's what you're asking. We can't do that. We cannot have we can't have any semblance of what's the word I'm looking for? Prejudice or I don't know. We can't talk about a lot of stuff, and it's the old ethics thing, race, religion, a lot of that stuff, age, a lot of that stuff we can't really talk about because of some of the ethical things that we're not allowed to discuss. So if that's kind of, I can't talk about diversity in that manner. If you're talking about diversity as far as amenities go, here, we can definitely talk about that. The World Equestrian Center, restaurant and hotel is amazing, Mike says. CT Mike, like Ocala very much. And, oh yeah, well, shame on me because I haven't been out there since the hotel opened up. I was out there before the hotel and restaurant opened up. I think I'm going to make it a point, though, to I think I'm going to have to make it a point to get out there and do a video for everybody. So I will go ahead and do that. And then Tom and Margaret, they agree. Jerry Bell, where have you been? So he's late to the game. Probably thinking it was 6 o'clock. So anyways, you're here earlier. Anyways, Laura, every week seems like it would be a big time commitment for you. Work-life balance is important. Yes, thank you, Laura. It is, but you know what? It's not work if you love what you do, right? And so I do. I mean, I love what I do, and I love doing this. And I honestly feel like there's not a lot of people who are in my position who could answer your questions without bias and honestly and truthfully and just give you my opinion based on how long I've worked here, my experiences with working over at the Villages Sales Office called Properties of the Villages. I think I have a very unique perspective and knowledge of working in the Villages community, as well as now working in these other communities. So I don't really feel like there's hardly anybody out there that has the construction knowledge that I have with me, you know, having a contractor's license and built a lot of houses and a home inspector license and now a real estate broker's license and working in all these different communities. I feel like I bring a lot to the table for all of you. And so I love sharing everything that I have because I don't know if you're going to get it anywhere else. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I was going through stuff about On Top of the World this weekend. And I came across this real estate company's website. Let me turn this down because, all right. I came across this company. I'm not going to name the real estate company because I don't want them getting mad at me for one. But I went through, they had all this stuff about On Top of the World. And there was like a question and answer thing. And it says, are all the properties in On Top of the World leased? Leasehold or leased properties? And they said, yes. And they go on to explain these are leased properties and what happens after the 99-year lease runs out. And, probably they're speculating the on top of the world will go ahead and renew the 99-year lease after the first 99-year lease. And I'm like, well, that's not true. Only half the well, I would say probably. So I don't know if you know anything about On Top of the World. They started out with all these attached condo units, like triplexes and quadplexes. So 3 and 4 units attached. That's how they started that community out. Sort of like the Villages started out this community as mobile homes. But I'm like, here's this real estate broker saying that all the property On Top of the World is leasehold property, and that's not true. So right now, in the construction that they're doing right now, half of it is called fee simple, which means you own the land, and half of it is leasehold, which means On Top of the World has a lease on the property, and they do all the maintenance in this leasehold situation. In the fee simple situation, you do all the maintenance for your property. So I was kind of blown away by that. I couldn't believe that they actually put that on their website to where it says all the property On Top of the World is leasehold, and it's not. Anyways, that's why I'm saying I really bring a unique perspective, I think, to all these different communities around here. And then when somebody wants to go buy a home in one of these other communities other than the Villages, I can't sell new homes in the Villages. They will not allow me to represent you in a new home, in a new build, but all these other communities, I can. So I'm not even going to get into that right now. That's just a whole nother program in itself. But I do want to touch base. Actually, I do want to mention something before I get back to my chat. I had 2 people last week saw my videos that I made for people who were building homes On Top of the World. And so they were in 2 different states. One was just the block had just been put up, and I sent my drone over and I did a walkthrough so they could see what their home looked like at the block stage. I need to get back over there for the framing stage. So, and then another one was at the drywall stage. So I had 2 people contact me and they say, hey, can you do that for me? I'm building a home over there On Top of the World. And so that's, and I've gone on video and I've pleaded and I asked, hey, if you want my assistance in working over there On Top of the World or Del Webb, Stone Creek, or wherever else, Latitude Margaritaville, wherever, other than the Villages. Any other place lets me go ahead and represent you. And so if you want me to do that, please contact me first. Don't go out there and contact those communities, because then they won't let me get involved. But this is kind of why, this is a big reason why I ask you, please get with me first, because I offer so much. I offer unbiased opinion. I'll give you my honest assessment. I'll tell you what I think. I'll always be there with you when you're going through the models and when you're selecting your features for your home and when you're picking out your lot. I mean, I think I bring over 21 years of invaluable experience in doing this sort of thing. But these folks ask me would I go out there and do videos of their homes, and they're not even my customer. Well, one of them said that they mentioned my name. And that's another video I'm getting ready to make, because when you go to On Top of the World's website And it'll ask you, do you want information about On Top of the World? It'll say, how did you hear about On Top of the World? Well, if you heard about it through me, if you click on the arrow, a whole list of things will come up: newspaper, television, advertising, billboard, realtor. Click realtor. And then down there where it says comments, put my name, Ira Miller. So they know at least that you're asking for information because you learned about it from me. And that gives us at least an argument to say, yeah, you went out and you asked for your own information, but it was only from me that you learned about them. And I have an argument, to be able to work with you past that point. Where if you don't, if you go out there and just do your own thing and contact them, they put you in their system. And then when I come along and say, hey, I have, Pam or Tom or whatever who wants me to, represent them as their realtor and work with you all the way through and do the videos and all that stuff, I won't get pushback from them. So that's very important. And I'm going to do a video on that too. So just wait for that video, because I'm going to have the worksheet that comes up in their website, and I'll give you all that information on how to do that. Anyways, let me go back to the chat. I think I've blabbered enough. Alrighty. So, Tijuana Mayo, don't blame you. We need help with tech these days, huh? So, Sylvan, hi Ira, how do we estimate what our property taxes would be on new homes and resales? So there's something called a millage rate, and it depends on what the millage rate is for your particular county that you're residing in. So the villages are in 3 counties, Lake, Sumter, and Marion. All 3 counties have a different millage rate. A good rule of thumb is, all right, how much did the home cost, or how much is it worth? Multiply it by 0.75%. About 75% of the value is the assessed value. Then you take that assessed value and you decide whether it's going to be homestead exemption or not. Meaning, is it going to be your primary residence, or is it going to be like a second home? If it's your primary residence, you can take $50,000 off the assessed value. That's after you multiply it by 0.75%. Subtract $50,000 off of that. That gives you your taxable value. And then you multiply it by your millage rate. So if you don't know what your if you want to know what the millage rate is, just ask us and we'll tell you. But that's kind of how you can get close, Sylvan, to what your taxes will be on a new home or a resale. All right. Resales kind of tell you already what the taxes are. It's not going to change all that much in a normal market. So we can tell you what the taxes are on that home at the present time. New homes are different. So we can kind of help with that. IMAX IRA. Are you playing me on IMAX? All right, thanks, Kevin. Oh, really? Turn the clocks back November 6th. I always thought it was right around Halloween. So, guess not. Ohio, how do you estimate what property tax would be on new homes or resales? What is bias, Sylvan? What's bias? Here's Drew. Hey, Ira and chat from New Jersey. Yes, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every 2 weeks sounds great. And that's, I think, the main consensus. And yes, a show with Christian and Danielle once a month. All right, how's weather down there? When is the next Margaritaville? Oh, hey, Tom and Margaret. Yeah, That's right. We did that video, didn't you? Look. So, all right. So, Drew 43 is asking me how's the weather. That's why I don't have that video out about Latitude Margaritaville. It's been raining about every single day here. And if it hasn't rained, it's cloudy. I need a nice, bright blue sky if I'm going to do a video on Latitude Margaritaville. So that's what I've been waiting for. And since Tom and Margaret were here, we haven't had really any days that I think are worthy for a brand new video about Latitude Margaritaville. That's what I'm waiting for. But as soon as this place, I mean, it's 60 and 70% chance of rain all week long. Today's Monday. I looked at the weather report. We've got some tropical depressions. It's just crazy. I mean, New Orleans, it seems like it's sitting right over New Orleans and it's catching us. And so we haven't had any good weather. So that's why no Margaritaville video yet, as much as I really want to. And I got a buddy over in Ormond Beach who has a new Key West boat who I've been wanting to go fishing with. Haven't even been out there fishing because the weather's been so bad. So I can't get over there for that reason. Thank you, Kevin, for all those nice words. And Tom, I guess I let the cat out of the bag, letting everybody know that we're going to be showing you and Margaret on a video soon on Latitude Margaritaville. So let's see here. What are we doing? 99-year lease. None of us are going to be here. True enough. None of us are going to be here. And then Tijuana Mayo. Gosh, I guess I'm sitting here talking so much. Okay. So yeah, we're talking about, I guess, all this techie stuff. Listen, I don't have time for that. You know, I know Skip Smith, he's out there doing his own thing. But Mr. Smith, he's out there, he's retired. He can get on there and he can do all this stuff on his own and have his great shows, you know, every month on Wednesday. So don't forget Skip Smith's Wednesday Night Live, last Wednesday of the month. Give you a little shout out there, Skip. So anyways, I'm not trying to outdo Skip, by the way. I'm just trying to provide a good service to everybody. Let's see. Francis Richard, if you own a house in the Villages before you move there and rent it out short term, how much of the expense can you recoup if you own the house outright? So, it really depends on when you're going to rent it out. So, if you're talking about January, February, March, if you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, you can rent it out around $4,000 a month for January, $4,000 February, $4,000 March. $12,000 will pay for that house for the whole year. So there you go. Then you could use it pretty much for free. And that pays for everything. Amenity fee, all the utilities, taxes, that's everything. 12 grand is about what it'll cost you in overhead in the home. And so that's without a mortgage. So that was a great question. Thank you for asking that question. So Laura, do you keep retracting messages on me? Hi Ira, thanks for all you do. I saw your videos when I lived in Washington State and helped me make the right decision to buy and move here sight unseen. Absolutely. Happy to help. Changing clocks was changed from late October to November several years ago. Okay, well, I've probably been sleeping for the last several years then, Laura. Where do you post the information? Where do you post the information? What, Jerry? You asking me that? Or are you asking somebody else that? It's gorgeous here in the villages. It always says it's going to rain, but it only lasts a short time. Sitting here on our lanai with a cocktail listening to you and our fountain. Cheers. What about 99-year leases? Who has 99-year leases? On top of the world has 99-year leases. Are you still training Dalton to be the next Ira? No. Dalton has fallen off the grid. So, Philip, thank you so much for asking about that. Dalton got COVID. Over a month ago, I guess. Probably about 6 weeks ago. And haven't seen him since. Not that he's not okay, because in 2 weeks, right at the 2-week mark, he was back up in the Buffalo, New York area where he's from, hanging out there. He has since come back to Florida, but he's always back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Honestly, I just don't think that Dalton is as serious about real estate as he is about his YouTube channel. So that's how I come about, meeting Dalton. We're YouTubers, and he has his own YouTube channel called 3D Machines. So you can kind of catch him on YouTube. That's kind of his thing. But he's always doing stuff. I think his last video was about a Jeep that he put a turbo on and he blew it up. So, he didn't blow it, he blew up the motor. So that was the last thing I think I saw. But I haven't seen Dalton in a while. So I have Danielle's husband, TJ or Tim. And Tim is, he's the guy I'm sinking all my time into, and he's going to be the next Ira. So he's been coming along really well, but even better is Danielle. So I don't know if y'all know the history of Danielle and Tim. Well, so my old assistant Paige, who decided, I don't know, Paige said she was wanted to get into title insurance. The next thing I knew, she was an assistant for another real estate broker. So I don't know what happened there. Don't even want to speculate. I don't even want to go down that road. But anyways, Paige left. And it took me 3 weeks of interviews and trying to find somebody to replace Paige. And I was getting really disappointed, upset. You guys have heard about, can't find workers these days. And then along comes Danielle. And as soon as she walked in the door, I knew that she was the one. So not to kind of put her out there out front, but I'll tell you a little bit. She come in and she said the exact thing I wanted to hear. She goes, I'm here to learn about real estate. I don't care about the money, but I'm here to learn about real estate. I said, okay, you are the one. So she started. So Paige trained her for a week. My daughter Jamie, I don't know if any of you go back that far, where my daughter Jamie used to work for me when she was 16. She'll turn 22 in November, but she goes to school up at FSU. And but Jamie worked for me for 3 years, 16, 17, and 18. And then she went off, did her own thing, but she helped me with training Danielle for a week. So Danielle got 2 weeks of training, and then I tried to fill in, as busy as I was, trying to fill in the blanks for Danielle. But then Danielle says, hey, by the way, my husband, we're both trying to get our real estate license, And my husband, he wants to become a realtor too. And she goes, my main goal is I wanted to come to work for you, Ira, because I wanted to learn as much as I could about real estate, get my real estate license. And so ultimately she wants to go ahead and sell homes as well. But she told me about her husband, and I said, well, tell him to come on in. He can come in. He could sit with me now before he even gets his license, and I'll train him. And he can start training now. Well, there's nothing like sitting at the administrative assistant desk for me and learning hands-on. So Danielle's light years in front of Tim and Dalton and anybody else. So my biggest fear is when Danielle wants to go and start selling homes, she's going to have to train her replacement, but she's awesome. So if any of you ever get a chance to work with Danielle, she's already up and running, and she's been with me since June. So July, August, she's been with me now for 3 months, and she is light years ahead of everybody. But Tim's kind of coming along. He's coming along in the rear. So anyways, that's the story of Danielle and Tim. I'm trying to give Tim as much hands-on training as I can, and a lot of you maybe have met Tim, or at least if you came down here and met with me, he's usually with me, learning and listening, and so there you have it. But while Danielle has all the backroom information, contract information, all that stuff, she still has to get some of that front end information like Tim is getting. All right, so Philip, there you go. I think that's the long version of what happened to Dalton. So Dalton, I don't know. Like I said, he showed a lot of promise in the beginning, and then I think he just, I have no idea. So he might come around again. We might see Dalton someday. Hopefully we will. We don't know. Anyways, Elaine, thank you so much for that compliment about Skip and I. I really do. I feel like we do complement each other. He does a great job in what he does, and I do a great job in what I do. And I think, we both kind of provide a total information about the villages here. So is it true if I owned in Margaritaville and my adult children visited or rented that they cannot use the amenities? No, that's not true. They can. They can use those amenities. Now, the swimming pool that they have there, they can only use it at certain periods of time. And that's the whole thing with the pool there. There's other periods of time when they can use the pool, but residents can use it anytime they want to use it, okay? So that's kind of what the deal is there. There's Wrestler Mania. Hello there, Ira, Skip, and I. Skip said I have to use you to buy my home when I am ready. Do we have a date in a few years? Absolutely. Few years? It's going to take you a few years to buy a home here? Yes, that's cool. So, what else can we talk about? Let's see. So I guess a lot of people have come in kind of late, and just want to kind of recap. We've had a consensus going as to whether to do this every week or every other week. I think most people think every other week is good. Whether we should start at 5 or start at 6, I think everybody thinks that 6 o'clock is probably the bewitching hour to go ahead and have this. I guess, you know what? So skip starts at 7. And a lot of times, I'll come in there at 7, maybe a little bit after, and then I'll get up, I'll go eat, I'll do stuff, I'll come back, 9 o'clock, he's still going. God bless him, because after 9 o'clock, that's when I cut off work for myself. A lot of times I'll come home, eat, and then, for the most part, I'm out working with people. I'll get online. I'll get on my home computer, and then I'll look at all my emails and start making calls. If there's anybody I have to call back, I'll start answering emails up to about 9 o'clock. And then I'm pretty much done. So if anybody needs to call me, call the office. Always call the office, 352-204-9026. Like I keep saying in the daytime, 8 to 5, Danielle's here. If I'm working with somebody, she'll talk with you. She'll do her best to try to answer whatever it is she can. If I need to call you back, she'll kind of send me an email and say, hey, you need to call these people back, and I'll go ahead and do that. And then anytime after, Christian's here from 5 to 6, so he'll answer that phone from 5 to 6. And then after 6 o'clock at night, if I see it ring, I'll usually answer it up to about 9 o'clock, and then I'm done, just so y'all know, okay? Okay, let's see. So listen, I have about 15 minutes left, and then I have to go. I've got to go to Ocala. So if there's anything pressing that we need to talk about, if not, let's see, today is the 20th. It looks like October 4th will be the next time we get together at 6 o'clock. And back to the old 6 o'clock. But I guess where I was going with the skip thing was he starts at 7. If I did start at 7, I'd have to do what Skip did. I'd have to probably go home and then do my live from my house, which I'm kind of getting set up. I'm actually getting my home office set up. I actually got a green screen. So I was going to hang that over the weekend, and then I found out that I couldn't just bolt it right to the ceiling. I have to have some hooks to hook it on. So I'm going to do that. So I'll probably try that out sometime. Excuse me. All right, so is there anything pressing that we need? I'm sitting here going through. Yeah, that's not going to happen. In your last 15 minutes, let's hear a song. Realtor karaoke. Hey, I already gave y'all a chance to go ahead and give me a call, and you could have heard a song. I'll play you a song. So anyways, hey, is Tom and Marge on here? Because he just texted me. I don't know if he was listening to the program or not. Like I said, there's Tom and Margaret, who you'll see soon if this weather clears up. And then there was Tom and Marge. So that is... All right, so listen, I'm just rambling now. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down, and we'll be back, like I said, at 6 o'clock in 2 weeks on October 4th. And I don't really think that, let me just check my calendar here real quick. Because I don't want to have to do like I've been doing. Nope, it's right on there. YouTube in red on the 4th at 6 o'clock. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get an early head start to Ocala. And if you have any questions for me or need anything, you could always email me. That's probably the best. Homes, H-O-M-E-S, around the villages at gmail.com. Call or text at 352-204-9026. That is probably your best shot to either get me or Danielle. Or my cell phone, you could take a shot at it, 352-454-9561. That is this direct cell phone number, right? If Christian was here, he would have wrote that down. He's over there in Ocala waiting for me. He went ahead of me, and see you in a couple weeks. And I want to thank every one of you for watching and for joining us. I know I kind of threw everything off with this 5 o'clock hour. Sorry about that, but it was just this one time. But I do want to thank everybody for all your chats, all your comments, all your questions. I really appreciate it, and I really do. That's coming from my heart. I'm here for you. Gave you all my numbers, so look forward to seeing you or hearing from you. And like I said, you could always call. We'll give you the numbers next time too as well. We can do some, what was that guy's name? Larry King Live. Talk to you later.